Alright.
Okay. Square roots. So we're dividing radicals, meaning like you're gonna have a fraction now inside a radical. It's not horrible. It's not bad. Hopefully. Okay, so when you have a fraction underneath one big radical, I like to split that up under separate radicals. So like square root A over square root B. So the main thing that we're doing today, and the really only reason we divide radicals is because of this. You cannot leave a radical leave a radical in the denominator. Which one's the denominator? Yeah. Or the bottom of a fraction. So that's the only reason we do what we're doing today. Okay, so we're just going to work several examples. They're not too bad. Is everyone done writing? We're up to number 1. Are you ready now? I'm not even writing. Okay, square root 8 divided by 3. Square roots over the whole thing. So you have your last regular test Tuesday. Don't forget, Tuesday. And then 6 weeks test is next Friday. And then finals is, let's see, y'all have third period. So what day is your final? Thursday.
We do finals on the grade book?
It's like, it's not part of your 6 weeks grade. It's like you have your first 6 weeks, second 6 weeks, third 6 weeks, and then your final grade. So you have 4 grades to make up your semester. Yeah.
So what's the final?
Wait, what?
The final grade book, well, consider, but what's it going to?
So it's, I can't remember the percentage. I think it's,
That's cool.
it's like 20 and then the others are, no, they're all 20,
30,
20, 20, 20, and 20. So your whole semester grade is made of your 3 6 weeks plus your final, so 4 grades total.
So it's a 6 weeks in next Friday,
Yes, the 6 weeks ends next Friday.
and then final week is the week after next week?
Yes.
Then that's
Well, it doesn't technically end next week, it technically ends after finals week,
Okay.
technically.
So it'd be 2 weeks until we
Yes.
off?
Well, like if we fail a final, it won't affect our 6 weeks.
It doesn't affect your specific 6 weeks grade, it would affect your semester grade.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a half day on, the 17th and the 18th.
2 half days, yeah.
2 half days.
Woo!
Okay,
Why can't we extend this semester?
they always make me take fall.
I thought
And
you
then
said-
not spring. Or you can accept spring. Okay, so first thing, let's just rewrite this as square root 8 over square root 3. Okay, I want to make sure you see that and then just rewrite it so it's split. It's easier to look at when it's split. So we can't leave a radical in the denominator. Right now I have a square root of 3. So what I want to do is in order to get rid of that, I want the denominator to be a perfect square. Well, what could I multiply 3 by to get a perfect square? 3. Yeah, I can multiply by itself. So I'm going to multiply on top and on bottom a square root of 3. So the reason I do one on top and one on bottom is because if you divide something by itself, what do you get? 1. So this is just like a 1. Okay, so now you do regular multiplication. Multiply the top, what would you get?
24.
Square root 24, good. Over, and on the bottom, square root 9. Don't forget your square roots. Okay, so let's simplify. Is there a perfect square inside of 24?
No.
Yes.
Yes, 4.
What is it? 4. And you can make your factor chart if you want to.
Oh.
Like,
That's weird.
and the square root of 9 is 3. So the bottom is simplified. So here's the pattern, if you see it. If you're going to multiply this one by itself, it's going to give you the square root of whatever, and then you're going to get that same number again. So it should always be like that. So on the top, I can take out what?
4.
A 4, which gives me a 2. So I have a 2 in front. Good. Square root of 6 over 3. Okay, now look carefully. Just like when we multiply numbers outside radicals and inside radicals, same thing here. I can't simplify this 6 and 3. If I could reduce the 2 and the 3, I would, but I can't, so this is my answer. I'm done. Okay, let's number 2. Square root 5 over 8. So first thing I'll do is just split it. That way you can look at the top and the bottom separately. So square root 5 on top and square root 8 on the bottom. Okay, so I'm done with that. I'm looking at the blue now. So what would I multiply to get rid of the square root 8? Or square root 8. So in order to get rid of the 8, I need to multiply by another 8 to give me a perfect square. So what do I get on top? Square root 40. And on the bottom, square root 64. What perfect square is inside 40?
4 and 10.
Good. So I'm going to split 40 up into 4 and 10. Again, if you need to make your factor chart here, that's fine. I'm just skipping that part right now. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about. And then square root of 64 is 8. Good.
And it becomes 2 square root of 10.
Yeah, so bring out the 2. So 2 square root 10 over 8. So you can't simplify the square root with anything, but I can reduce this to what? Yeah, 1 over 4. So this 2 goes into 2 once.
Then what is the 6 and 3?
It's inside the radical, so you can't. So if it's in front of the radical and I can reduce it with the denominator, then I do.
Oh.
So my answer, square root 10 over 4. And that's it. And you can still check these in your calculator. Put the original in and then put this in. Doing okay? Okay, let's try another one. Number 3. So they all just kind of get a little bit different from here. So you can see each kind. Like this one has 1 radical instead of 2 radicals. Okay, what am I going to multiply by? Perfect, square root 10. Just multiply by whatever's on the denominator. So what do I get on the top when I multiply? 5 square root 10 on 50. Be careful, this one's not in a radical and this one is, so I just put them next to each other. 5 square root 10 over square root 100. What is the square root of 100? 10. So remember, when you take the square root, because I know some of you yesterday were taking the square root and then writing like square root of 10. Make sure you don't write the square root here anymore. Can I reduce that?
Yes.
Yes. 5 over 10 reduces to 1 over 2. So my answer, square root 10 over 2. Okay, number 4. You try number 4. Oh, that's not the number 4. Sorry. Okay. Here we go. 2 square root 2 over square root 3. You'll get it done in class. I want you to do it in class and check your work. It's only 8 problems. I'm listening. Yeah, you leave the 2 in front. Yes. So what'd you get for your final answer? Perfect. All right, number 5. Okay, so this one we're gonna get a little bit different. Okay, before I do number 5, let me do this with you. If I give you x plus 2, x minus 2, and I say, let's FOIL this, you would do what? Distribute, so I would get x squared minus 2x, and then what?
Plus 2x.
Plus 2x minus 4. Okay, if I simplify, what happens?
The 2x cancel out.
Yeah, these cancel out because I get a negative and a positive. And you would get x squared minus 4. Why do the middles cancel? What up here makes them cancel?
The opposite.
Yeah, they're opposites. Exactly. So what we're going to do now, which I'm going to have to go to a new page, we're going to multiply things and you're going to have to use the opposite sign. Okay, so let me show you what I mean by that. Number 5, 6 over 4 plus square root 2. So on the first 4 that we did, we only had a single radical on the bottom. No plus, no minus. If you see a plus or a minus, you're going to multiply by this same thing, but I'm going to change the sign. Okay, so I'm going to multiply over here in green 4 minus square root 2 over 4 minus square root 2. Not because it's in parentheses, because I know first period was confused because on the worksheet they're not in parentheses. It's because it's a radical plus something.
Oh, okay.
Josh?
So why do we do minus?
So the reason you do minus, if there's a plus, I'm going to do minus because when I multiply them, you're going to get 4 terms. The 2 middle terms are going to cancel out.
So it was a
So if it was a minus, I would do a plus. Like if this was a minus, I would do a plus here. You always do the opposite sign. Okay, so let's just multiply out the top first. This is just a single number. So I'm going to take 6 and all I'm going to do is distribute. 6 times 4 is 24. And then I'm going to do 6 times negative square root 2. Negative 6 square root 2. Over. Okay, so I'm going to FOIL the bottom. So let's start with the 4. 4 times 4, 16. Now, yesterday, some of you were missing the signs on the foiling, so be careful. It's 4 times negative square root 2. So negative 4 square root 2. Then I move to the square root 2. Now the positive square root 2 times the 4. So positive 4 square root 2. And then some of you missed this one for sure. It's a positive square root 2 and a negative square root 2. So it's going to be negative square root what? 4. So on the bottom, if you don't get a negative and positive here, something's wrong. The other thing to know is this should be a negative. So when you multiply a positive and a negative, it's always going to be a negative. Okay, so on the bottom, what can I cross out? Yeah, I can cross these out. Let's make it a little bit easier on ourselves. So on the bottom right now, I have 16 minus square root of 4 is 2. So I just kind of rewrote the bottom as 16 minus 2. Okay, so on top we have 24 minus 6 square root 2. And what do I have on the bottom?
16 minus 2.
16 minus 2, which is 14. So go ahead and simplify that. The bottom should always simplify to a single number. Right, because adding and subtracting radicals, this one has a radical, this one doesn't have a radical too. Okay, now, you can simplify if you can take something out of all 3 of these. Not the radical, I don't care about the radical. What can I take out of all 3? 2. A 2. So it's going to be 12 minus 3 square root 2 over 7. Yeah, these get a little bit longer. You'll start to get the hang of it. On the bottom is just the foiling part where these are going to cancel. And it always simplifies to a single number. If could be positive or negative, but it simplifies. Okay, let's try, I have two more of those, and then I'm gonna let you work on your worksheet. Number 6. And when you start your worksheet today, I want you to start on these times, so that way if you have questions, I can help you. So when I look at this, and because I see a minus sign on the bottom, or a plus sign, it doesn't matter, I know I have to multiply by the same thing, except I have to do what? Change the sign. So I'm going to multiply by square root 2 plus 3 over square root 2 plus 3. Okay, so don't let the parentheses affect anything, because on the worksheet there's no parentheses, so people are getting confused from period. You're still FOIL on the bottom. So on the top, what do? Distribute. Good. So square root 5 times square root 2 is what? Good. Square root 10. And then I have square root 5 times 3. Perfect. Over. So I have square root 2 times square root 2. So square root 4.
How do you get this one to go down to a single number?
It should always, because the middle two are going to cancel. This is a perfect square. Because it'll always be a perfect square, which you can then simplify. So then I have a positive 3 square root 2. And now I'm going to go to the negative 3. Then I get negative 3 square root 2. And what's my last term?
I have a question. Will you ever have a negative on the bottom?
Yes. And that's fine, just leave it, is what I do. Okay, so again, there's my middles, they cancel. And then here's where you're going to simplify. What is the square root of 4? 2, so I get 2 minus 9. And then let's just rewrite it. So on the top, 10 plus 3 square root 5. Oops. And on the bottom, negative 7.
Out of square root 10.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Did you simplify the square root thing?
It's just 1 in 10 and 2 in 5. There's no perfect square.
Oh.
But I would still try it. Like, make sure that you can't simplify it. Okay, let's do one more. One more that's a little bit different than that. So last one, number 7. Plus square root 3 over 4 plus square root 3. Okay, I don't care about the top. I care about the bottom. So what am I going to multiply by? 4 minus square root 3. Perfect. 4 minus square root 3, 4 minus square root 3. Now there's no parentheses, so if you like the parentheses and you want to throw them in there to help you FOIL, that's fine. It doesn't matter. But you definitely have to FOIL the top. So just regular FOIL, 5 times 4, 20, minus 5 square root 3. So it doesn't matter what the top is, I take this one, I change the sign, and then
No, but you want to do 3 times 3 is 9 on the top one?
oh, I just haven't done that yet. I did the 5 to both, and now I'm doing the 4. I'm going to get that. Maybe you just did it in order, which is fine. So I got negative square root 9. As long as you have all 4 pieces I have, it's fine. Do you want to simplify the top before you do the bottom, or do you want to just do the bottom now and simplify together?
So cold in here.
No one cares? Okay, I'm going to do the bottom. So on the bottom, I'm going to FOIL again. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times negative square root 3 is negative 4 square root 3. Then I do the next one. Positive 4 square root 3 minus square root 9. Here's what I don't want to see. Do not cross these things out because they're the same. You cannot do that. Can't just cross these out. Okay, so let's simplify the bottom first because it's a little bit easier. So these cross out. And I get 16 minus 3 on the bottom. What can I do on the top?
Square root 9.
Square root 9, so this is going to become a negative 3.
You can add the 5 and the 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can put these together. Negative 5 plus 4. So I have, make sure I don't lose you here, I have 20 minus 3 is 17. And then negative 5 plus 4 is negative 1. You can put the 1 or not put the 1. Over 13. So you just, I would take it slow, do the top out, do the bottom out, and just be really careful.
And the 3 at the end got crossed out. On the top.
Wait, that one on top?
Yeah.
I did 20 minus 3.
Okay.
17. How are we doing? Okay.
Then negative 5. Oh,
It becomes negative 1. So really, I could put a negative 1 right here if you want. That way you see it. Okay, let me give you your worksheet. I want you to start on the bottom though, so that you do these first.